Hi everybody, this is Carl Fisher with F3 Pens. So you just saw me make a fountain pen front section on this lathe right here. This is my Little Machine Shop 8550. It is an 8.5 by 20 metal lathe, benchtop hobbyist lathe, and it is their version, their reworked version of a Sieg SC4, I believe. So I was using this lathe here, and I've got the tablet-based DRO right there that came with it. And then just various tooling, basic metal lathe tooling, including a carbide cutting bit that I grind myself, and a parting tool, and some just odds and ends drill bits, similar to what I used over there. So in part one, we made the same section using that lathe there. That's a Jet 1221 VS. Before that, I had the little brother, the 1014, and it worked just fine. I upgraded to that a number of years back because of my buffing wheels. They're a little bit larger. There was a little bit tight quarters on the 10-inch, so I just wanted some extra room. So I upgraded to the 12-inch at some point in the past. So the purpose of these videos was to show that you could make the exact same section out of the same material and same specs and everything on either of these machines, regardless of your tooling, your skill set, whatever. All it takes is just a little adjustment to, you know, your workflow, your working process. Over here, we're working with hand tools, hand chisels, hand parting tools, and you know, without the precision of the cross slide and the DRO. Over here, we're using machinist skills and machinist tools with a DRO, which means I don't have to constantly stop and remeasure like I do over here on the wood lathe. So, you know, really it's just a matter of what you have on hand. You can do it budget style, you can do it with a wood lathe, woodworking tools. You saw I used a set of cheap box wrenches here, as well as my little custom machined or custom lasered size gauges. But you can do everything with just a cheap set of box wrenches to measure your sizes. You don't need the micrometer, you don't need the slide caliper to get the basics done. You can do with just those and a ruler if that's all you have. Get yourself a nice steel rule. This machine, you saw me use collet chuck, so I've got the collet chuck and all the collets. I also have scroll chuck. Either one would work, no problem whatsoever. It's just whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you might happen to have on hand. And really, between both processes, the only specialized tooling that I might have used would be the die holder for the die, for the sections, or for the tenons. You know, just a keyless drill chuck for the tailstock. My centering bit is just being held in a custom Morse taper holder, but you can just as easily chuck it up back in the tailstock, just the regular chuck. Beyond that, collet chuck on there. I did modify this machine with a solid tool post. I did not like the compound, and I don't do enough tapers for it to matter, so I modified that with a solid post. But again, you know, you don't have to do that. You can. I worked for years off of a small Harbor Freight metal lathe. I probably made 1,000 pens on that lathe before it died, and you know, it's just nicer to have a little bit bigger footprint. But otherwise, use what you have, use what you can afford, use what you're comfortable with. So the next couple of videos in this series, I will be continuing on with a body and then ultimately a cap, and showing again the same on a wood lathe and a metal lathe. I'll do parts 3 and 4, part 3 body here, part 4 body there, and continue on through the series. So make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. I know I don't have a whole lot of content there at the moment, but I will continue to grow. I will continue to add more content that will help pen makers or just general DIY hobbyists who are interested in turning and turning techniques. We'll touch on finishing, we'll touch on composition of materials, maybe mixed media materials, segmenting, sleeving of wood, stuff like that. So we'll look at a lot of that. We'll look at a little bit of laser engraving. I don't know if anybody follows my other channel. I'll post a link to that, but I've got various tips and techniques for using light burn. So we'll talk a little bit about the laser at some point. We'll talk about materials, you know, whether it be wood or Alumilite or ebonite or any of the vintage materials. So we'll go through quite a bit of this process. You can see my dust collector down there. So while you did see a couple of rat's nests or bird's nests get tied up in the collet, normally I do have my dust collection running. I didn't want to run it because the tube would block where I was filming video from, so it just wasn't something that I wanted to have running during this video. And normally all this mess isn't here for recording. I was using that to record the DRO and stuff. But we'll take a look at, you know, tooling. We'll look at specialized tooling. We'll look at basic tooling. You know, just all the bits and pieces that you may use throughout your voyage into this hobby or business, or however you want to treat it. So I think that's about it for now. Just a quick view of the rest of the shop. I do have some layered tools over here. We got the bandsaw, drill press. Buried under all that mess is a little sanding station. So that's about it. It doesn't take a lot to make pens. I don't have a full wood shop anymore. I got rid of that. I scaled a lot of it down. And this is what you see is what you get. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And again, you know, help me out, like and subscribe. Helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps them recommend these videos to people. And until next time, again, my name is Carl Fisher. This is F3 Pens, and we'll talk to you later.